Good morning, class. Today we're going to talk about our new unit, and our new unit is going to be about ancient Egypt. It's going to be called Take a Trip to Ancient Egypt. I'm going to go briefly over the Prezi, and then we're going to do a class discussion to get excited about our activity for this unit. So let's begin with looking at this Prezi. This is Take a Trip to Ancient Egypt, and the intro to Ancient Egypt is here. We're going to go over all of this stuff so that you guys can go back and look at anything that you want to look at after. So this is Explore Daily Life. Here is a map of Ancient Egypt, and here is Explore the Internet as you discover Ancient Egypt. We'll learn about food, fashion, social classes, and more. This little mark means something here, and if you'll click here for your first assignment, you will find that you can organize your research. Today we will be getting the Chromebooks out. You will be filling in this graphic organizer. So let's go back. On this screen, you'll notice you have all these little dots. The dots represent either lessons, or here we have the standards and research that's covered. So in case you want to go in and find the standards that we're covering, and here are your research hints. So these are websites you can go to find information to fill out your graphic organizer. That's a big hint. If you had your Chromebooks out right now, I'd tell you to find the Prezi on our Google Classroom and get to this, follow along with me as we got to each bubble. That's what we would be doing. And you would then click on the YouTube video and listen with your earbuds. And we might only get through pieces of this Prezi today, and we might just cover what we absolutely needed to. Here are all the references that were used for completing the Prezi, so you can go back and check things out. So another thing we're going to be learning about, specific thing that we'll learn about in ancient Egypt studies, is art in ancient Egypt. So here is a huge rock sculpture. There are some key points about the art. We have sculptures, paintings, they're very long lasting, and then keywords. Each lesson has keywords that are attached to it. So the keywords for art would be hieroglyphic, symbol, jewelry, and preserved. We are going to talk about what these words mean. They are very long lasting. These things are thousands of years old, and these are artifacts that archaeologists have dug up. You'll notice that we had the pyramids there too. But archaeologists, let's see, become an archaeologist. Maybe we can click on that button. If we become an archaeologist, what will we be doing? Archaeologists dig. Okay, so they dig. They have something to do with artifacts. So we would be learning about what an archaeologist is, and that they dig up artifacts. They're excavating. There are sometimes fragments of artifacts, and they have to put them together and get them all put together in pieces. And then we will talk about the role that erosion has in kind of getting rid of some of the artifacts. So let's see, we did art, we did archaeology. Let's talk about making a commercial. You will be creating your own commercial. You will write a script. You will get to cast your characters. This will be a group project. You will create props, and then we will get to use the cameras to create a commercial. We don't know yet what the commercial is about, but by the end of the Prezi, you should have a good idea. We'll talk about the keywords. They're here, so you can always find the keywords. And then another thing we'll be doing is enjoying a feast. What kind of feast will we enjoy? We will dine like an ancient Egyptian. There will be no Big Macs. So what did they eat? You will have to plan, prepare, and then we'll have our feast. We'll have to figure out what they ate and what we're going to create. There's more information on the Google Classroom site about all of this, and there's information here. So if you feel really overwhelmed right now, you can always go back and look at it again. And then the capstone project we will be completing is, have you ever seen a travel brochure? And you will create your own travel brochure for ancient Egypt. This one's for Hawaii. So this person took all of the fun things that people do in Hawaii and all the local foods and local places, and they put them in a brochure, and they're trying to convince people to come to Hawaii for vacation. So what you're going to do is you're going to try to convince people to come to ancient Egypt for their vacation. That's going to be tricky because we don't always look at ancient Egypt like it's exciting. Sometimes we look at ancient Egypt like it's kind of weird or different. But we're going to try to get right in the middle of ancient Egypt and imagine what it would be like to be around the pharaoh, and imagine what it would be like to be in a different social class. Maybe different social classes as we act out our commercials and our feasts. So I'm going to give you a little spoiler. Your commercial is going to be the thing that you do before you create your brochure, and this will be your group activity. So today what we're going to do is we are going to spend a little bit of time filling out your graphic organizer, and then we're going to spend a little bit of time getting into groups. And we have our groups all written down on the board, all separated into groups. So you'll go find out what group you're in, and you get to come up with some ideas that you might use for your commercial. You'll also notice here, if you double click on this symbol, I have a special question. Do you know what this symbol represents? And if you don't, while you're doing your research today and you're using those websites, why don't you try to see if you can't find this image and then figure out what it is. And the first person that correctly identifies this image is going to get a special treat. So let's start off now by getting on your Chromebooks, getting to your graphic organizer, and we're going to spend 15 minutes doing some research and just filling in some bits of information on your graphic organizer. Once the timer goes off, we will split up into our groups and start talking about our commercial. Okay? Good job, guys. Thanks for listening.